welcome again to another episode of It's Been Real. I am Sarah.
I'm Coder.
We are back again because Coder has finished his assignment I gave him last time.
I did.
So we watched Alien together.
Yes.
And for those of you who haven't been living under a rock since the 80s, unlike some people that are sitting right next to me, Alien is a 1979 sci-fi horror classic directed by Ridley Scott. Is about space merchants who receive an unknown transmission as a distress call. One of the crew is attacked by a mysterious life form, and then they soon realize that its life cycle has merely begun. It basically is a game of cat and mouse for what seems like 2 fucking hours, it feels like, because the tension is just so high. But it stars Sigourney Weaver, John Hurt, Ian Holm, and then Tom Skerritt, all those good people. So, Coder, what did you think?
I really liked it.
You really liked it?
No, going into it, I knew I was going to like it just from, the general pop culture hype about it. It is heralded as one of those truly classic sci-fi horror movies.
I went into this telling you, this is, by far my favorite horror movie franchise.
No, it's a fantastic movie. Yeah. Absolutely great.
Yeah, so the one thing that made me go, holy fucking shit, before we started hitting record. So the budget for this film, do you remember how extensive the scenes look?
Yeah, no,
how fucking dirty everything looked, the sets were fucking
between
meticulous.
The models and the sets, no, everything was meticulously done.
How much do you want to guess was the budget for this movie?
The budget, I'd put it about $5 million.
$8.4 to $14 million.
Okay.
Do you want to guess what the box office return was for that?
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
$203.6 million in return.
That is well earned.
But the runtime is 117 minutes, so just a little over 2 hours long. It was amazing.
Oh, it's so good.
So what was some of the things that you really liked about it?
So my big thing when it comes to horror movies, just as a general, is the less you see of the villain, monster, whatever, the less you see of it, the scarier it is. Mm-hmm. And, honestly, this really held up to it. You see bits and pieces of it, so you do see the monster, but you never really see it in its full shape until the very end. The entire time you're just seeing, its tail dangling in some spots, the face a couple times, but aside from that, you're not really seeing the monster.
Except for, near the very end of the film.
Exactly, except until the very end.
Yeah. So the xenomorph itself,
yes,
the first Alien, was only on screen for 4 minutes out of a 2-hour movie.
No!
Yeah, only on for 4 minutes. It doesn't make its first appearance until halfway through the movie.
Are we talking about Chestburster?
No, just the xenomorph.
Just the fully evolved xenomorph. Yeah. Wow.
But it feels like he was on it for much longer.
Yeah, he feels like he was always there, always present, always watching.
Oh, God. Always stalking you. Fun fact, did you know, so the tendons that they showed in the jaws, the tendons that attach it, those are shredded condoms. They use practical effects in every sense of the word.
It was the 70s. They couldn't do anything else. And honestly, sometimes those practical effects look better than what we make with computers nowadays.
Yeah. So, one of the things I kind of held back on, because I was saving it for this moment.
Yeah.
So, the scene in which John Hurt gets, the chest burster.
Sure.
They didn't tell anyone, none of the cast about it.
They didn't tell them that was going to happen?
They did not. What they basically did is they showed him seizing on the table, and then they, broke. They're okay, we're going to do some makeup and stuff. Everyone take 5 for, lunch. They propped John Hurt up on the table, with the fake chest.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And then they're oh, John came in early.
So we got him all ready.
We got him all ready and stuff, ready to go. And so, he's just, pretending he's just chilling back, set where he was previously. And then they did the chest burst thing. So, everyone's, reactions on camera
genuine reactions.
So, you have people being, the actual shock of, the guys that were holding him down were what just happened?
That's freaking great.
So, apparently, the chest bursting scene was not filmed in one take.
Oh, really?
The scene was filmed twice. On the first take, the chest burster didn't actually make it through John Hurt's shirt. So the crew needed to reset and shoot it again. The failed attempt is visible in the finished product because Ripley thought it made it more violent.
Oh yeah, you can see it.
It was struggling to push its way out, and it made it more violent. So Barry, I really wish Barry would come in and talk to you more about it. But so basically his whole thing was Sigourney Weaver. This is like one of the first movies that she was in. She wasn't a huge draw, but this movie cemented her in screen queen history.
Easily. A fantastic performance.
Yeah. So it wasn't her that had the draw. No, that was Tom Skerritt was the draw. He was the more famous of all the actors at that point. Like, John Hurt was famous, but only in the UK. Like, he was in a few things beforehand, but he really took off after this in America. But, like, yeah, as soon as Tom Skerritt died, it showed the audience, like, no one's safe. No one is safe here in this movie. It subverted your expectations on like who the final girl was going to be, if there was going to be a final girl. You had a very like what the fuck moment. What was that?
So obviously there's a lot about Alien, especially this first movie. There's a lot about Alien that you can't really not know.
Yeah.
What being
because it's referenced so much.
It's referenced so much in so many different places.
Yeah.
So, I knew about the chestburster, I knew what the xenomorph looked like. I knew the general plot of the movie. Mm-hmm. The one thing I didn't see was, what's the actor's name? I'm blind.
Ian Holm.
Who
played Ash.
Ash, that's his name.
The medical.
I did not see that coming, that Ash was a robot this entire time. So.
Like, you literally sat like, why the fuck does he have milk on his forehead?
Yeah, no. Yeah. When Sigourney Weaver's character read the actual message, what their actual mission was, and Ash being the only person who knew beforehand and starts trying to strangle her, I'm like, why is he doing this? Is he controlled by the xenomorph? What's going on? And then the other guy just comes in and bashes his head off. And holy shit.
Because your face when you're like, is he a robot? That was like, this is why we do this. This is why I love doing this. Like, everyone loves, like, watching my reactions to, like, animes and TV shows and stuff like that. But, like, the pure joy I get out of watching, like, did that just happen? Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did.
No, so the thought that I couldn't get out of my head while we were watching it when his head was on the table, when they reanimated it for a little bit.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm looking at his face and how all that like substance, I'm assuming like some form of lubricant in universe, some form of lubricant.
Yeah.
Stop your giggling. That was on his face. All I can think is, well, from a practical effect, they just melted wax and put it on his face. That had to be super uncomfortable just to have all that. It had to
be. No. I think it was like more like costume makeup or really pasty white foundation or something.
Just something like that. But there was so much stuff like clumped and stuck to his face. I'm like, that can't feel nice. Yeah. I do have to say, no, all those practical effects they did look so good. There is part of me that really wishes we did more practical effects in movies nowadays.
Yeah. But yeah, like they hand built all those sets. Like they hand built all of like the blood spurts, the milky residue.
The milky residue.
The milky residue. And that's when I found out you never saw Evil Dead. And I was just like, because, like, I was like, oh, it's just like Evil Dead when they had milk. And you were like, uh-huh. And so we had to add that to the jar at that point. Like I sat there during the film watching you watch it, writing down, like, all these movies that I'm like, Code's never seen this.
No. We have a freaking mason jar just sitting in front of us right now. And this thing is, like, 3/4 of the way filled up with just
no, it's more than 3/4 of the way.
It's almost completely filled up with just these tiny paper scraps with movies on them.
I had a completely full pack of sticky notes.
And you're gone.
I'm gone.
Oh my gosh.
I've used them all up. But no, I am really happy that you liked this as much. Whenever you want to come by, watch the other ones, I have the whole anthology. Let me kind of get into a little bit. It's not really spoilery because they kind of set it up in the next several movies. So the xenomorphs, they tell you more about the xenomorphs down the line.
Yeah, as the series progresses, the lore would be fleshed out.
So they flesh them out a little bit more. So the xenomorphs will take shape of anything that it gestates. Okay. So that's why the xenomorph was very humanoid, because it came from John Hurt.
I would hardly consider that thing humanoid.
It was bipedal. It had arms and legs. When so that head part.
The iconic stretched out dome of a head.
The stretched out penis head.
Yes.
Because it was very phallic.
Very phallic.
So in the very end of the film, when he's in like the ship
escape pod.
When he's in the escape pod with Sigourney Weaver, there's a light that shines into it. You can actually see like the head and like the skeletal structure that's inside of there.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I didn't see that. Oh, that's cool.
When we get done with this, I will actually show you a picture. Like, it's really cool. Like, it's a translucent inner dome, and it's really awesome.
Now my brain is thinking that might have been like if we go off the premise that their biological structure is based off of what they consume in order to breed.
Yeah.
The helmet. He was wearing a space helmet.
Yeah. When
the facehugger got onto him.
Yep.
That's freaking cool.
And if you would notice, John Hurt is a very skinny, lanky individual.
True.
Yeah. I think that was very much something too, because I feel like if, like, let's say roles were switched and it was like the big hulking black guy, I think we would have had like a quarterback.
Just a fucking linebacker coming at them.
A linebacker, yeah. We would have a linebacker coming at you as a xenomorph. Like, I truly believe that. The costume on it, they literally had to find the skinniest, lankiest creature performer to be in it, and I think Barry made a joke about it that like they had to use like a ton of lube to put him in there, because it had to be skin tight. In my favorite, in the very beginning of the movie, like the first like third of the movie.
Yeah, when you were telling me when the character Bert is looking for the cat. Brett. My bad, Brett.
Yeah, when Brett was in I think it's like the storeroom or something like that.
Something. There were chains hanging from the ceiling. I mean, it was a great BDSM chamber.
I legit locked eyes with, when that scene happened, I locked eyes with Barry, and you didn't say anything. And I was like, he didn't notice. I'm like, oh my god, he didn't know. I'm like, I'm gonna blow his mind right now. And did you notice him like hanging from the ceiling? You're like, wait, what? He wasn't hanging from the ceiling. That was machinery. I'm like, no, that was him. And you're like, oh no.
Oh no.
This guy is screwed.
Someone rolled a 20 on their stealth.
Yeah, I was just happy that they saved the cat. So.
Oh yeah, no, you gotta save the kitty.
I love Jonesy. Jonesy's my favorite character. Jonesy's my favorite character in that whole movie. Because like the whole movie, he was just like, get out of my way. There's a thing trying to eat me.
Look, guys, I'm fine. Get out. I'm gonna hide.
But everyone was so like concerned about saving the cat, and I'm just saying, if I was in that position.
Sorry, I love cats, but
I would save the cat. I'm not that much of a
heartless come on.
Human. I love that cat. Like that cat has one duty, and that's to eat any rats that came upon the ship that didn't like nibble on the wires and stuff like that. That's literally why they have. That's literally why they have the cat. There's no other reason than
for space rats.
Yeah, for space rat, or like before they took off. Not space rats, but any like that cat had a job. That cat was part of the crew. Okay, you don't leave a man behind.
I apologize to Jonesy.
All right, so was there any negatives that you had of the movie?
No negatives as far as like storytelling or pacing, or I mean the pacing.
It's a slow burn. I told you that. Yeah,
it's a product of its time. If you look back to like the 60s and 70s for filmmaking, even the original Star Wars, the pacing is very slow.
Yeah,
and that's how stories were told back then. And now
they didn't need to like jingle keys in front of our faces like the fucking toddlers that we are.
we weren't all ADHD caffeine addicts. The only thing that kind of I wouldn't say bothered me, but the only negative thing as far as like some of the acting in the beginning, especially when they're trying to get John Hurt's character back on the ship.
Yeah,
part of what how she was like, no, it's by the code, we can't let you on. Which, in all fairness, would have saved everyone.
Yeah. So she was technically the second in command.
Yeah.
So when the captain's off ship, she's in control of the ship. It should be like, no, you are breaking the procedures here. I have the final say on this. And then Ash had to be like, no, we're going to open up the door anyway.
Yeah, no, the fucking traitorous robot's like, I opened the door. What you gonna do, bitch?
and then you have, like, Lambert, which is the only other girl, just, like, was, like, having, like, a cat fight with her. It's like, you were gonna leave us there to die. No! She was gonna leave you outside that airlock for 24 hours, and then you can come in. Am I a heartless human being? No. I probably would have let John Hurt back on the ship, because he is an outstanding individual of the crew.
You know what?
He had a thing on his face that was keeping him alive. I'm sorry. I don't know what this butterfly snake cobra thing was. Like, I'm sorry. No. This thing put you in a coma. I don't want that on my face. I don't care if it wants a hug. Like, that thing was terrifying. That thing looked terrifying.
Oh, yeah. No, so before the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, I would have totally broken protocol, let him back on the ship. No way in hell! We go on an alien planet, you get the sniffles, you are staying in the airlock, my friend. I'm sorry for like 14 days. In the airlock, 2 weeks, I'm sorry.
Sorry, but no. So apparently Captain Dallas, so Tom's character.
I did not like his character. Not one bit. At no point in the entire movie did I like... Did I watch his character go, no, I'm rooting for that guy to get out.
Yeah, so you know how...
I did not like him.
So you know how he was just, like, reluctant to be, like, the captain and all that
Reluctant
stuff.
to do anything.
So Harrison Ford turned down the role for that, and then Tom Sheriff took it over.
Oh.
Does that make everything just sound so much better?
Oh, I want that alternate universe. Give me that alternate universe where Harrison Ford is in that movie.
Just perpetually being like, no, F this. Like, I just want to go home.
That's Harrison Ford.
Sign my check. Get me off this set.
Sign my check. Get me to my trailer.
Many of the producers, so to get the budget that they wanted, they had to go and like get like money and stuff like that. So when people asked them like, oh, you know, like what's the movie about? They would summarize it like it's like Jaws but in space. But Jaws made the blockbuster, so they're like, fuck, here's all my money.
You said it's Jaws in space? Take a bucket.
So we're gonna pull from this jar, and then I'm going to go on a tangent for about 15 minutes about why you need to see this movie I pulled from the jar.
Alright, I am gonna pick...
It is 007 GoldenEye. Oh no. So 007 GoldenEye. I'm surprised you have not actually seen this. So 007 GoldenEye, it was made into a video game actually.
Yeah, I know of the video game. Again, haven't played it. I didn't have an N64 growing up.
Oh my goodness gracious. Let me read some ratings. So GoldenEye on IMDb has a 7.2 out of 10 rating.
Pretty good for a James Bond film, all in all.
It has a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's certifiably fresh. And it has a 65% on Metacritic.
Okay. So a really good James Bond film.
So in every James Bond film, have you seen some James Bond films?
Yeah, I've seen a handful. Like I know at one point I owned a Blu-ray box set that had all of the James Bond films, and then a slot open for when
Daniel Craig?
It was the third Daniel Craig movie, Spectre or something like that.
I think it might have been Spectre, yeah. Because it was Quantum of Solace.
No.
That's
was
the second
Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Spectre.
Yeah. I kind of dropped out right before Daniel Craig. My favorite James Bond is, of course, Sean Connery.
Oh, you can't get away from Sean Connery.
Oh, God, don't ever do his voice ever again. That was horrible. But no, like, Sean Connery will always and forever be my favorite James Bond.
He is the James Bond.
I cannot wait for you to experience this.
No, I'm really excited, especially because it's a Pierce Brosnan one. Because Pierce Brosnan was at a weird age for James Bond movies.
Like, I feel like Pierce Brosnan revamped 007.
Yes, to try and make it much more serious, but they were still doing these just outlandishly wacky stories.
Yeah.
And so it's just this hilarious mismatch of ideas, and I freaking love it.
So here is a short synopsis of it.
Sure.
According to IMDb. Years after a friend and fellow 00 agent is killed on a joint mission, a secret space-based weapons program known as GoldenEye is stolen. James Bond sets out to stop a Russian crime syndicate from using said weapon.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna get dumb, and I cannot wait.
It is disgustingly dumb, and it is so good.
But that's why you watched James Bond movies.
James Bond. I don't remember much about this film, so this will be me re-seeing it after like 10 plus years.
Yeah.
So this will be an interesting thing for both of us. So I think with your new assignment put together, we will meet back at some time. We'll have some martini shaken, not stirred, which apparently is a very, 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 very weak ass drink.
Well, no, it's
a watered down martini.
It is a poor way to make a martini.
We never said James Bond was a classy man. Okay. Until next time, guys. It's been real.